I'm Thomas Shelby, and today I'm going to teach you something that many men desire, but few can master: magnetic presence. That quality that when you walk into a room, you don't need to say a word for everyone to notice you. That silent force that commands respect, confidence and, at the same time, a certain admiration. Most people talk too much. They are quick to show who they are, what they have, what they know. I learned, in the trenches of war and on the streets of Birmingham, that the real power is not in the number of words you speak, but in the weight each one carries. You want to have a presence that leaves a mark. You want someone who, when they look at you, feels like they are in front of someone different. Not just anyone, but someone who knows who you are, what you are looking for and how you will get it. 1. Calm as a weapon. When I returned from the war, the first thing I noticed was that most of the men were dominated by fear. There were those who could not sleep, who broke down at the slightest noise. I myself was burdened with nightmares. But I understood something. If I could master my fears, others would bow down to me without me having to shout at them or raise my hand. The first step toward a magnetic presence is absolute calm. When everyone loses control, you stand your ground. When others tremble, you take a deep breath and wait. That calm, that serenity, becomes a magnet. People sense it. They think, if this man doesn't shake, it means he knows something we don't. In a negotiation, in an argument, in a discussion, it means he knows something. In a negotiation, in a discussion, or even in a casual conversation, his calmness will be his hallmark. 2. The look that makes you uncomfortable. Take a good look at me. I don't need to raise my voice. I just need to look you firmly in the eye, without blinking too much, without nervousness. Your look should convey the following: I know who I am, I know what I want, and I am not in a hurry. That's enough to break anyone's confidence. Most people avert their eyes because they can't stand the discomfort of silence. You don't. You learn to hold their gaze. No aggression, no unnecessary smiles. Just the calm of someone who does not need to prove anything. Remember, a firm gaze is stronger than 1,000 words spoken badly. 3. Talk less, say more. In my meetings, both with allies and enemies, I never do most of the talking. I let others wear themselves out. Let them give themselves away with their own words. When I finally speak, every sentence carries weight. I don't beat around the bush. I do not seek to impress. I say what is necessary and I say it clearly. That, sir, is what makes others listen to me. If you want magnetic presence, learn to be quiet. Learn to listen. Learn to let silence work in your favor. Because in that silence, your figure is magnified, and when you finally speak, everyone will know you are worth paying attention to. You don't need to be the physically strongest. Nor do you need to be the richest. What you need is mental discipline and self-control. Because magnetic presence is not built by shouting, nor by embellishment. It is built with self-mastery. And that's just the beginning. Now that you understand the importance of calm, gaze and silence, you must learn the second pillar of magnetic presence: strategy. A man can be strong, but if he lacks vision, he will end up a mere pawn in someone else's game. I am not a pawn. I am the one who moves the pieces. And if you want to have true authority, you must think beyond the obvious. 4. The long view. Most people only look at what's in front of them. They think about today, this week's problem, the immediate reward. That kind of mentality condemns anyone to mediocrity. I always plan 10 steps ahead. When I talk to someone, I don't just think about that conversation, I think about what I can get out of it tomorrow, next week, or even a year from now. You must learn to see beyond the obvious. Always ask yourself, what is this person really looking for? How can I use this situation to move forward on my path? What will happen if I wait for the right moment, instead of rushing into it? That vision is what makes you respected and, in many cases, feared. 5. Mastery of information. Let me tell you something, he who controls the information, controls the power. In Birmingham, everyone talked too much. And I listened. I didn't need to spy with guns in my hand, it was enough to pay attention to what others neglected. If you want magnetic presence, become the man who knows more than he pretends. Listen for details. Observe gestures. Make a mental note of what others forget. That way, when the time comes, you can use that information to your advantage. And when others notice that you know things that no one else should know, your figure will grow even more. They will ask, how do you know? And that mystery is power. 6. Controlling the environment. Magnetic presence depends not only on you, but also on the setting in which you move. If I go to a meeting, I decide where I sit. I never choose just any corner. I look for the place that gives me visual dominance over everyone. The environment is a chessboard, and you must place yourself in the best position. If you are in a group, don't stand where you will be overshadowed. Stand up straight, unhurriedly, and allow others to turn toward you. That quiet control of space makes people perceive you as a natural leader, even before you speak. 7. Reputation as a shadow. Your presence does not end when you leave. What others say about you when you are not present is the true extent of your influence. Therefore, take care of every action. Be calculated, even in the smallest details. An unnecessary word can destroy your authority. A firm gesture, on the other hand, can multiply it. In the long run, your reputation will work for you. There will be people who will respect you without even knowing you, just because of what they have heard. And when they finally see you face to face, you won't have to prove anything. Fame will have already paved the way. People often think that magnetic presence is born of chance. But I tell you, it is trained, cultivated, sharpened like a knife. I learned it in war, I applied it in business, and I used it in every move of my life. If you understand that every gesture, every word, and every decision is part of a greater plan, you will be closer to possessing that presence that compels everyone to listen to you. So far you have understood that calm, strategy, and information are silent weapons. But there is one element that few master: people. Because magnetic presence is not built only in solitude. It is strengthened in the way others follow you, fear you, or respect you. 8. Loyalty is currency. I will give you a truth. Money moves business, but loyalty moves empires. I never trusted crowds, but I trusted a few who proved to be loyal to the core. You must understand this. Loyalty cannot be bought, it can be earned. How? By delivering what you promise. By protecting your own tooth and nail. If someone sees that you are capable of taking risks for them, they will give you something more valuable than money: their trust. And when you have people willing to follow you without question, your presence will not just be that of a man, but of a leader with an invisible army behind him. 9. Vulnerability as a weapon. Many believe that showing vulnerability is a sign of weakness. They are wrong. Vulnerability, used with intelligence, makes you more human. In my case, the war left me with scars that never faded. Nightmares, memories, constant pain. And although I don't show it often, there are times when I let others see a chink in my armor. Why? Because people trust someone real more than someone perfect. You shouldn't exaggerate, or look for pity. You should just let it show, from time to time, that you have also suffered, that you also struggle. That makes you relatable, and, paradoxically, stronger. 10. Emotional influence. A magnetic presence is not only measured by logic, but also by what it awakens in others. Look at it this way: when someone listens to you, what do they feel? Fear, respect, admiration? I know my silence weighs heavy, but I also know when to use a word that inspires. You must learn to move emotions like a violinist moves strings. Sometimes a short phrase can ignite a man's ambition, or destroy his confidence forever. It's not cheap manipulation. It's profound influence. It's understanding that every human being wants to feel seen, recognized, important. And if you can awaken that, it will be impossible to ignore. 11. The family and the close circle. Let me be clear, family is a double-edged sword. It can give you strength, but it can also become your greatest weakness. I fought for mine, even when it led me into wars that others would never have fought. You should know something: taking care of your inner circle is not only moral, it's strategic. Because nothing commands more respect than seeing someone capable of sacrificing everything for their own. But remember, never let that loyalty become a blind spot. Protect them, yes, but don't let your love make you naive. People believe that magnetic presence is born of coldness. And yes, coldness helps. But what really sustains a man in the face of crowds, in the face of allies and enemies, is the balance between toughness and vulnerability, between iron and flesh. If you strike that balance, they will not only follow you, they will remember you. But before I tell you how to apply all of this into a lasting legacy, I want to extend an invitation to you. If what you have heard so far has helped you, if you feel that these words awaken something in you, then subscribe to this channel. Why? Because here you will find more than just advice. You'll find principles, strategies, and mindset to forge yourself into someone impossible to ignore. Do it now, and then keep listening. 12. From man to legacy. A magnetic presence should not be extinguished by its absence. The real power is in building something that transcends it. I always knew it wasn't just about me, it was about the Shelby family. The family name. The empire I could build that would live on even after my death. You, too, must think beyond yourself. Ask yourself, what will be left when I am no longer in the room? What will they feel when they hear your name? If the answer is respect, strength, inspiration, then you will have created a legacy. 13. The invisible discipline. Many see the result, few understand the process. Discipline is the backbone of every legacy. I speak of those actions that no one applauds: getting up when others sleep, studying what others ignore, planning while others improvise. A magnetic presence is not built in a day. It is forged in repetition, in invisible sacrifice. You must be consistent, even when no one is watching. Because the day everyone else does, it will be too late to start. 14. The final silence. Remember, it is not what shouts, but what is silent that leaves its mark. When you walk away from a conversation, what is left floating in the air? That is the legacy. It is not the exact words, but the lasting impression you leave on those around you. 15. A word of advice for you. If you've made it this far, you already know that magnetic presence is not about being perfect. It's about being calculating and human, cool and vulnerable, strategist and protector. It's about balancing the dark with the light. Look in the mirror and ask yourself, what impression do I leave on the world every time I walk into a room? The answer to that question will guide you toward the kind of legacy you want to build. I am Thomas Shelby. And now you have the keys to possessing a magnetic presence. What you do with them is entirely up to you.